Arvada, Colorado. Now, if that's a place that you're considering moving to, this is the video for you. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the state of Colorado, but more importantly, I am a native of Colorado. If you're new to my channel, all of my videos are catered to my favorite places to live, where I think you should consider moving or taking your kids. If that's something that interests you, please click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about Arvada, Colorado, and the top 7 things I think you should know about Arvada before moving there. Now, Arvada is pretty special to me because that is actually where I personally grew up. My entire life, graduated high school there. In fact, my mom actually grew up there too. We went to the same high school, actually different times, but same high school. And my grandpa actually still lives in Arvada. So Arvada is still very close to my heart just because I know it so well and I've been there my whole life. So the number one thing I want you to know about Arvada is that they are very keen into their history. So they do like to keep all of their buildings, things like that around the old town Arvada, very historical. So when you go downtown or the old town Arvada, which is right off of Ralston, pretty close to Wadsworth, about 52nd-ish, you're gonna notice all these very old buildings, and all these buildings actually have been around for decades upon decades. And what they've done now is they've, converted these old buildings into really cool restaurants or breweries, boutiques, spas, all of those really, really cool things that bring the people of today's age into it and are able to experience still Arvada life, and yet still keep that historic way of life that it used to be. The old flour mill is still there. It's an iconic symbol of Arvada. It's the old flour mill. They still have the old bank. I believe it's First Bank, if I remember correctly. It's just really, really cool. So they do tend to keep all of their old buildings, and then all of the houses that are going to be surrounding Old Town Arvada. Ironically, back in the day when I was growing up, they were just older houses by Arvada, and even then Old Town Arvada wasn't even that cool of a place to hang out. Now it's really, really hip and cool, and those houses are super expensive just because of the proximity to Old Town Arvada, as well as they're so old, and then now people are going in there, they're buying them and they're flipping them, so making them really hip and cool. So people are just gravitating towards these areas because the historic pieces of it are still intact, yet the new part of Arvada is really coming to, place, and they're kind of coming together, historic and new, and it's just making it a really cool place to live. The second really cool thing I think you should know about Arvada is that they actually have the Arvada Performing Arts Center in Arvada, and it's actually the largest multi-purpose arts area in the United States, and we actually have it right here in Arvada. It's really cool. You could go there and watch plays year round. They always, have their Christmas plays, which I love to go to during the holiday season, but they do have them year round. And then outside, they have a bunch of artwork and sculptures that people have made, and they make it, and it's all part of their parking lot and their open grassy area all around outside of it. In there, you could take classes. So if you or your kids or anybody likes to or wants to get into acting, you could go and take acting classes there, arts classes, craft classes, whatever it might be. This whole area, or this performing arts area, is just right here in the heart of Arvada, and it's really, really cool because it's the biggest one in the United States, and two, it's so cool because we have this right in here in our backyard. All right, the third thing that I think is really great about Arvada, and something I absolutely think that you need to know, is that its proximity to the mountains is phenomenal. So if you're somebody who loves heading up to the mountains, or even going up to Blackhawk, if you're somebody who likes to gamble, Arvada is a perfect location for this because you're right off of I-70. which essentially is going to take you right up to the mountains, as well as go up to Black Hawk, Central City, go gambling. If you're somebody who loves concerts, Red Rocks, amphitheater, right up the street, essentially about 20 minutes away. So it's really, really cool as its proximity to really everything mountain related. So you still have, you can still be in town, go to work or whatever, but head up to the mountains at any time throughout the weekend and go snowboarding, skiing, camping, whatever, and then be able to get home in no time. Now, to kind of piggyback on that, my number 4 thing is what I do love about Arvada and what is finally cool, they finally got it out there, is the light rail system. So the light rail has finally made it up to Arvada, and actually the station for the light rail is actually right in Old Town Arvada, so it's a great location. Took forever to get out there, but it is one of the western cities that actually has it. You could take the light rail out to Denver. You could take it all the way up to DIA, the airport. You could take it to Red Rocks. So it's just a really cool, convenient thing that the light rail has now brought over to Arvada. It's just adding a lot of value to that area. Like I said, people are wanting and gravitating towards this area like crazy. And now essentially you don't even need to have a car really, because especially if you live right in the heart of Old Town Arvada, you have the light rail, you have the RTD system, and then you have the walkability to all of the restaurants and shopping and entertainment right there in the main street, that you really don't even need to have a car if you live right there. Now, number 5 is really kind of funny to me, because since I have grown up in Arvada, I used to think that Arvada was kind of like there was never any restaurants to go to. We always had to drive out of Arvada to just go get something to eat. There wasn't just anything to do. Well, that has completely changed nowadays. So restaurants and breweries are a big part of Arvada, especially Old Town Arvada. Again, Arvada as a whole is pretty big, but I'm concentrating mainly on the Old Town Arvada just because it's so cool nowadays. So you have really cool restaurants. One of my personal favorites is the Schoolhouse. And then they have Denver Beer Company, which is one of my most favorite breweries. It's awesome. There's one in Denver as well. Yak and Yeti is out there, which is really cool, especially if you like Indian food. There's just so many cool places. There's a winery in there. There's a whiskey bar. There's just so many really, really great restaurants and breweries that take place in Arvada, and not even just in Old Town Arvada. I mean, I'm concentrating on that area, but even if you go west Arvada, there's a bunch of places out near West Woods that are really cool out there. And so, it's just growing. It's just growing like crazy. So there's always going to be something to eat and drink if you live in Arvada, opposed to how it used to be about 15 years ago where we always had to leave. Now, having been from Arvada, I've seen the growth over the last 20, 30 years, but definitely within the last 10, it's kind of exploded. So anything that used to be like kind of run down, there used to be an ice rink and all that kind of stuff, well, that's all gone. And they've put up, major big box stores. Walmart is one of them. It looks super cool. I absolutely love it. But with growth comes a lot of traffic. And that is the biggest complaint I still hear from people my old friends or, colleagues who still live in those areas, is that the traffic is really, really bad, especially in some of the places where it never used to be. I mean, it used to be kind of a quiet little city, and now not so much. People are gravitating towards Arvada, and these shoppings and these restaurants and bars and stuff like that are gravitating people to come there, which is only creating more congestion within the city. So that is something that I absolutely want you to know, is that, when you live there, just expect that there's probably going to be quite a bit of traffic, especially if you're living closer to the Old Town Arvada side. Now, I'm not saying it's not, congested everywhere. It is. There are places that it's pretty bad, and they definitely need to take into account maybe widening roads or reconfiguring some things out there, but that will take some time. Just note, when you move there, most likely you're going to have to deal with it. And one of the really cool things about living in Arvada is the amount of parks, open spaces, and trails that this community offers. In fact, there are 90 parks in Arvada. So if you have kids, You have 90 parks to choose from. I personally have taken my kiddo to several of the parks. There's water parks out there. I personally have ridden my bike on a lot of the bike trails out there. So they are well known for, you know, keeping up with all of that kind of stuff for the families who live in the community. So there's just a wonderful thing that Arvada has to offer. So that's my video on Arvada. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding Arvada or any other city for that matter. I am here to help you. I am the one who answers those text messages and those emails, whatever it might be. Please remember to click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. And to the next video, take care.